Hey there and welcome to the UkeStuff channel. This video is a tutorial for the play-alongs of Birds by Dodie Clark and Thomas Sanders. Now, in full confession, I have probably had this play-along done for a year and I just didn't want to deal with the longer tutorial. With every new video that I release, I now release a tutorial to help people with the chords, but really to help people with strumming. That's the number one question on the channel, which is, what's the strumming? Well, that's what this video is about. If you're interested in why I don't put strumming in the actual video, there's a whole comment about that in the community section of the Uke Play-Alongs channel, and I'll just let you go take a look at those reasons. But in these videos, what we do is we look at the chords for GCEA ukulele, we look at the chords for DGBE ukulele, and then we talk strumming. Now, I just also want to remind you that you can find the actual what people call tabs, or I call a chord chart for this song, at ukutabs.com. And there should be a timestamp below here where you can fast forward to parts of this video that matter to you. Let's begin with the chords you need for GCEA ukulele. And I'll be using the Aklat Bamboo Concert. Beautiful little instrument. Let's take a look at the chords you need. The first chord you're going to need here is the D chord. And I traditionally play it with my first finger at the top of the third string, second fret, and the other two fingers around it. That works better for me with my hands. Some people will have small hands and be able to play first, second, and third, all on strings 4, 3, 2. Then other people will actually try to do it with one finger, usually the third finger, barring strings 4, 3, and 2, and avoiding the first string. Whatever works for you, do for that D chord. The next chord is the G chord. The next chord is the B minor chord, which is a bar chord. Now, don't get crazy about that. Here's how you kind of approach it. You take your first finger and lay it across all 4 strings at the second fret, not on the middle fret, or you'll get a dead sound, but right behind it, and then pull against the fretboard as if you're going to launch it. If you've got the ukulele securely held with the right arm, you can do that, and then you can just use the thumb for a little bit of leverage. The other tip, again, this comes from Craig Chi, is think about putting the pressure for the chord on this part of the finger rather than this. So you feel like you're pressing down there and everything else will follow. So those things all hold true and you should be able to get a clean bar then. And then what you do is you reach over, for me it's the third finger on the 4th string, 4th fret, and that's your B minor chord. The next chord is the A chord. Then the E minor chord. For this one, again, just position that first finger and the other should follow. The C chord. Then the F sharp 7 chord. Now, the way to think about the F sharp 7 chord is think of it as being a little bit higher than the F. So instead of starting off with your F chord, move all the fingers up 1 fret. So first finger on the 2nd string, 2nd fret, second finger on the 4th string, 3rd fret, and then you can just drop the other 2 fingers down. And that's your F sharp 7 chord. Then you have your D7 chord, or generally what we call the Hawaiian D7, because it doesn't have an actual D in it, but it's used in a Hawaiian cadence of D7, G7, C a lot. That's a traditional Hawaiian vamp, so I think that's why it's called Hawaiian D7. Then you've got your G minor chord, your F sharp minor chord, which if that seems hard to you, just think of it as being the G7 over 1 set of strings. So the first finger goes on the top of the 3rd string, 1st fret, and then the other 2 fingers, finger 2 goes on string 4, fret 2, and then finger 3 goes on string 2, fret 2, your F sharp minor chord, and then finally the E7 chord. This is probably my favorite chord to play. I always rotate my hand up a little bit for this one, but I put my first finger on the 4th string, 1st fret, and then the other 2 fingers just go down right next to it. And that's your E7 chord. And those are the 11 chords you need for this song on GCEA ukulele. Now let's take a look at the chords you need for Birds with baritone ukulele. I will be using my mainland baritone. Right now it's my only baritone, cedar top, rosewood back and sides. I love it. Mainland is in Indiana, Nashville, Indiana. Now with this song, Dodie performs, she's the one that's playing ukulele on this, she performs this on a baritone ukulele. So there are some baritone chords here that work really well for it. Makes sense, right? First chord is your D chord. You're going to have the G major 7 chord. then you're going to have a B minor chord. Now, as a suggestion, the charts all show that you play also with the fourth finger. You add 2 fingers on that. You can do that, but you can also just play strings 1, 2, and 3 and leave the 4th string open. That's also a B minor chord, but it's just an inversion that you normally don't hear, but I think that's what Dodie's playing in the song. Then you get your A sus2, an A chord with a suspended 2. You get an E minor chord. You get a C chord. Then we get our first bar chord, an F sharp 7 chord. You're going to bar all the strings at fret 2. Again, you put your first finger across all 4 strings, not on the middle fret, or you get this, but right behind it. And then, if you're holding your ukulele securely and you pull against the fretboard, as if you're going to launch it, that will give you really the force you need to get a clear sound there. And then you can just add the thumb to give yourself a little support. The other trick is think about the pressure being on this part of the knuckle rather than the outside, and that will also help you get a clear bar chord there. Then you got a D7 chord, a G minor chord. That's another bar chord. So just like you made the F sharp 7, here on the G minor chord, again, it's the first finger across strings 1, 2, and 3 at the 3rd fret. And same idea. Think about pulling against the fretboard, adding your thumb for support, and you've got it. Then the G chord, the A chord, then the F sharp minor chord, another bar chord, all again at the 2nd fret, but then you're going to reach over with the 3rd finger and play the 4th string, 4th fret. It's your F sharp minor chord, and then an E7 chord. And those are the chords you need on baritone DGBE Ukulele for Birds by Dodie Clark and Thomas Sanders. Now let's talk strumming a little bit on the song. Generally, 3 things are used. We have a situation where a low note is played and then the rest of the chord. We have a situation where you've got a strumming pattern, and then we have just single strums. That pretty much covers everything that Dodie does in the song. And to know where that happens, I'm just going to have you listen through it along with the play along, and you'll get it. And it's going to be a little different on your GCEA ukulele than your DGBE baritone ukulele, and we'll talk about why. So let's start with what would be the picking part, or where you have a bass note or a low note and then the rest of the chord, and show you what you're going to do there. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to know what's the lowest note on your ukulele, and you're going to have to play that note. Now on re-entrant GCEA ukulele, which means that this 4th string is higher than the 3rd string, okay, the lowest note on these instruments is always going to be the 3rd string. Now if you have an instrument where the G is lower than the C, it happens. People play that way. This is a tenor ukulele that's tuned that way. That would change for you. And in that case, speed ahead to the baritone part of this, where you can then hear what to do if you have a linear tune. But for now, we're going to talk about re-entrant tuned GCEA ukulele. So let's take a look at how we would handle this on a re-entrant instrument. And just to make things easy, let's just practice without any fingers up here. And what we're going to do is we're going to pluck string 3 with our thumb. All right, then we're going to pluck, like a harp, strings 4, 2, and 1 all at the same time. And we're going to alternate with that in a pattern. So first of all, just go 3 and then 1, 2, 4. Just try that. 3, 1, 2, 4. So here's what Dodie's sort of playing with this in mind. Now again, keep in mind that she's actually not playing this because she's on a linear baritone, so it's as close as we can get on GCEA. It's going to be 3, then 1, 2, and 4. It happens twice, and then 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4. So it goes like this, and we're again not playing any fingers down here. So do you hear what's happening? Again, it's 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4. That's the alternating pattern that she uses when she's picking the part. Now let's try that on a C chord. about a D chord? 1, 2, ready, go. All right, how about a B minor chord? Now, if that is wicked hard, can you just strum and do something else? The answer is absolutely yes. The other thing that you can do is that there is a gear icon. I think it's over here. I'm always remembering what side things are because I think it films in reverse or whatever. But I think there's a gear icon here where you can slow down the recording and you can hear what's happening. Now, before we move to baritone and linear in general, again, remember it's 3, 1, 2, 4, another 1, 1, 2, 4. Then 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4. And that will get you as close as you can get on those picking parts for birds. Let's take a look at baritone and linear tuned instruments. Now on baritone and linear tuned instruments, it's called linear because you have low to high. So what Dodie's doing here is she's playing the lowest note, which is string 4, and we're just going to do open without doing any chord. And then she plucks strings 1, 2, and 3. And then she plucks 1, 2, and 3 again. Then she plucks string 4, then 1, 2, 3, then string 4, and then 1, 2, 3. So it's this little pattern: boom, chick, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick. So let's do that very slowly. It's the single note, then the top 3 again, single note, top 3, single note, top 3. Now let's put that in context with a chord, perhaps the D chord. It's going to go something like this. All right, that's what it does. 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And then it just changes through the chord progression that she uses. She starts on the D chord, then G major 7, B minor 7, A sus2, then a single strum E minor. And the rest of the song follows that pattern when she's picking. So let's try it with the G major 7 and just doing that same pattern. How about the B minor chord without adding the 4th finger? How about the A sus2? How about the E minor chord? Just one single strum. So that is what is happening. Now, just for fun, let's pull out the tenor ukulele that's tuned with low G. So how this works again is, I'm playing the D chord, by the way, is you play string 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 again, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And it's going to sound like this. And that's what you would do also on linear tuned GCEA instruments. Now, the next thing that happens in this song is we get a strumming pattern. And let's just practice it by doing what a lot of people call a Z chord, or just mute the strings with your hand. So here's what Dodie's doing for most of the song, whether it's reentrant ukulele or linear tuned ukulele. It's down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Try that. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now, what's interesting is that Dodie does lose track of that strumming pattern from time to time in the recording, and that's fine. It's a live performance. That's perfectly acceptable. But just so you know, what her goal is to go down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, and it's hard to get your hands flipped around there, especially going from D to the F sharp 7 to the B minor. But you can do it with practice. Now let's take a look at that same little progression in the strumming on baritone. All right, on baritone, it's going to be exactly the same. Let's do a Z chord where you just cover all the strings. You're just going to mute all the strings for now. We're just going to practice. It's just down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Now, please note, on the second part of that, my hand isn't freezing, going, waiting to come back up again. My hand just keeps going up and down. Let's try it with the baritone chords, G major 7, D, F sharp 7, and B minor. Let's do it. A 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, with the B minor, I am not using my fourth finger. I could, but I would have to just readjust things. And if you listen to the recording, it sounds like she's playing B minor with that open fourth string. All right, so believe it or not, that's it for the song. As long as you know the chords, and as long as you know the strumming pattern and the picking pattern, and then where to put the single strums, which the play along shows you how to do, you're all set for the song. So again, thank you to the person that requested this so long ago. This is actually before the current tri-sider method of voting. So it's been here on my iPad for quite a while waiting to get finished. So I finally am able to share it with you. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you're having a great day, and I will be back soon with some more uke stuff for you.